Time for the day, beautiful people. Ray, hi, sis. Vanette, shalom, shalom. Shebrew, all praises to the Creator, sis. Let me fix this. Top of the day, beautiful people. Auntie Belinda Brown, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Lavon, blessings over on Facebook and everybody else hanging out in the background. Let's go ahead and get started, beautiful people. It is Sunday, October the 2nd, 2022, day 228 of year 4 of reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets and of the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1246. Today, we are continuing in Big Blue, also known as Oahspe, right? We call it Big Blue because it's a big blue book. And in Big Blue, we're reading through still the book of Judgment. Yesterday, we ended at the end of chapter 15. So we're picking back up in chapter 16 on page 679. And we're just going to read for a while, right? Hana Shalom says, set apart. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. All right, y'all. So let's get going. Father, we thank you that you are perfect in every way. All right, y'all. Chapter 16, page 679. O man, weigh the words of thy God, thy elder brother, of tens of thousands of years' experience, wherein thy soul perceiveth a ray of light. Follow it in truth and not in words merely. It hath been said of old, thou cannot serve both God and self. And many go about preaching this, but they themselves labor for self every day. To serve thy God is to work for others, especially the sick and helpless, and not for thyself. Thy prayers and confessions to me are but the waste of thy breath. Ooh. Let me think about that for a second while I clean my glasses. Starting off with 5. Let me read that again. Let's start over from verse 1. Oh man, page 679, chapter 16, book of Judgment. Oh man, weigh the words of thy God, thy elder brother, of tens of thousands of years' experience, wherein thy soul perceiveth a ray of light. Follow it in truth, and not in words merely. It hath been said of old, thou cannot serve both God and self. And many go about preaching this, but they themselves labor for self every day. To serve thy God is to work for others, especially the sick and helpless, and not for thyself. Thy prayers and confessions to me are but the waste of thy breath. There be such as preach for money, and withal are graduated from the colleges and called learned priests, but they have not learned not to serve mammon, save in words. Woo, woo. I say unto thee that a poor man who cannot read a line, that goeth into the house of the afflicted, giving what little he hath, and with a willing heart cleaneth the floor and garments of the bedridden, is more learned in my kingdoms than are these graduated preachers. Let's underline and highlight graduated preachers. I might use that in the title today. Because Lord knows we sure got a lot of run around on the earth. I know I said earth with an F, and I meant every single bit of it. Let me read it again. I say unto thee that a poor man who cannot read a line, that goeth into the house of the afflicted, giving what little he hath, and with a willing heart cleaneth the floor and garments of the bedridden, is more learned in my kingdoms than are these graduated preachers. The word labor or work is easily understood. Suffer not thyself to be deceived by them whose trade is preaching and praying. Oh, they calling this a trade. Different color highlighter. Yo. Listen, hold on. They about to get into it. Listen. For them to call preaching and praying a trade. Hold on. Look. We got to go back to 7. The word labor or work is easily understood. Suffer not thyself to be deceived by them whose trade is preaching and praying. They profess to be laboring for the spiritual man, and according to the numbers of their converts, who are also taught words and prayers and confessions instead of works, so are they called great workers unto the Lord. But I say unto thee, all these are but the subterfuges of Satan, self, to palm off words for words. Oh my God. Yo, what? Oh, listen to what the next verse say. Hold up. Hold on. Let me go again. Let me go back to 7. I'm going to keep it all together. Listen. Page 679, verse 7. We're in chapter 16 of the book of Judgment. The word labor or work is easily understood. Suffer not thyself to be deceived by them whose trade is preaching and praying. They profess to be laboring for the spiritual man, and according to the number of their converts, who are also taught words and prayers and confessions instead of works, so are they called great workers unto the Lord. But I say unto thee, all these are but the subterfuges of Satan, self, to palm off words for works. All such preachers and priests and converts are still tarrying in the depths, grade 1. Oh my goodness. And after still tarrying in the depths, after the is reference number 23. Remember the number references are found at the bottom. The letters are found at the end of the current book. Okay, and so 23, where it says, all such preachers and priests and converts are still tarrying in the depths, grade 1. And after the is 23, and 23 says, mire of grade 1. Wow, so that's like, I ain't gonna say the lowest of low, but the lowest of low is under 1. Completely imbecile. Dana, sis, hey girl, hey, you just came in? When did you say read it again? I'm gonna go back to 7, I'm gonna read it again. Hold up. Jamia, hey girl, hey, look, bro, that's Dana, that's what I said. Hold up. Let's go back to 7. I know this is the 4th time. That's a little bit exaggeration. Every time I do that, I think about what I read the other day. But it's a little bit exaggeration, but you get my point. Let's go back up to 7. The word labor or work is easily understood. Suffer not thyself to be deceived by them whose trade is preaching and praying. They profess to be laboring for the spiritual man, and according to the number of their converts, who are also taught words and prayers and confessions instead of works, so are they called great workers unto the Lord. But I say unto thee, all these are but the subterfuges of Satan, self, to palm off words for works. All such preachers and priests and converts are still tarrying in the depths, grade 1. Hear thou thy God, and weigh his words in the balance, and be not blinded by the tricks of Satan. A preacher, receiving a good salary, giveth half of his money to the poor, and the other half to the church. And his people say, oh, what a good man. And straightway they raise his salary, and they present him a good house, where he feasteth sumptuously every day, thanking God for his own prosperity. We can see that today, right? We can see that. Right, Dana, look. I'm not sure if you had the screen recorded. Look. Satan in here, when you read Satan, it explains it a couple times. Like I said, it's my first time reading through it, so I don't remember exactly where it is. It will take me a few minutes to go to it, but it explains how in the different ways that it uses Satan. And most of the time that when it's using Satan or Satan's coming to talk to you, that's your flesh or yourself talking to you, to whereas Christianity has turned Satan or self into this whole separate entity. Right? So it's really good. If somebody remember where that is, give me the reference in here so I can go back and I can read it before we done. Anita Shalom says, listen, Verse 12, page 679. A preacher receiving a good salary. Hold on. First of all, let me just go back to what Dana said. If we learn how to not look at Satan as this other worldly entity and look at it as our own shenanigans going on within our own self, it make us grow up because we ain't got nobody to blame it on. Satan made me do it. What? It will make you take responsibility for your own life and get your crap together. Look, Derry CM, shalom. Listen, hold on. Let me just go. Let me go. Can I go back to 7 one more time? Can I go back to 7? Let me just go back to 7. Page 679. Because some new people came in and they may not have heard it. They probably just, I'm going to just read it so they can hear it for the people that just came in. Listen, page 679, verse 7. The word labor or work is easily understood. Suffer not thyself to be deceived by them whose trade is preaching and praying. They profess to be laboring for the spiritual man, and according to the number of their converts, who are also taught words and prayers and confessions instead of works, so are they called great workers unto the Lord. But I say unto thee, all these are but the subterfuges of Satan, self, to palm off words for works. All such preachers and priests and converts are still tarrying in the depths. Grade 1. Hear thou thy God, and weigh his words in the balance, and be not blinded by the tricks of Satan or self, right? Because you got a whole lot to learn about yourself and your flesh and the depths that it will go to keep your spiritual man in bondage, right? Just think about trying to get your eating habits under control. That is your flesh out of control, right? We ain't gonna go there, but y'all get it. Verse 12. A preacher receiving a good salary giveth half of his money to the poor, and the other half to the church. And his people say, oh, what a good man. And straightway they raise his salary, and they present him a good house, wherein he feasteth sumptuously every day, thanking God for his own prosperity. And after prosperity is reference number 24. And at the bottom 24 says, every day laughing in his sleeve. Wow. Verse 14. Now I say unto thee, that preacher contributeth nothing to the poor. The money he gave away was not his, but the fruit of false doctrines. Oh, my goodness. Wait, what? Hold up. Y'all, we're going to get through this first chapter. Hold on. Wait, let me read that again. Yo, listen. Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me read that again. I had never heard this said that way before. Listen. Verse 12. A preacher receiving a good salary giveth half of his money to the poor, and the other half to the church. And his people say, oh, what a good man. And straightway they raise his salary, and they present him a good house, where he feasteth sumptuously every day, thanking God for his own prosperity. Now I say unto thee, that preacher contributed nothing to the poor. The money he gave away was not his, but the fruit of false doctrine. Oh my gosh. Yo, listen, sis, you. I know I am. Sis, look, Dana said, sis, you about to get shut down and reported if the pastors hear this. It's facts. It was right. It was never his money, right? It was your tithes. It was your money that was given from the fruit of false doctrine. I have never looked at it like that. Oh my goodness. Yo. Now that's a lesson all by itself, and we could probably teach on that for the next couple years. And we got examples galore. Boy, oh my goodness. We might have to make one of them, like the thing that I'm setting apart for the brides and bridegrooms. We might need to do one with the pastors and the tithe, right? Oh, this would be a whole different spin on the pastors and the tithe from what they be teaching. Oh my goodness, ain't nobody did a video like that. Go pull up all the pastors and the tithes and offering videos. Yo, we got to do that. Oh my goodness, hold up. Look, hold on. I'll make sure I find this again until I get it all down to where everything is at. Hold up, yo. I'm gonna put stealing preachers. Wow, I've never looked at it that way. Oh yeah, well, the church will pay for it. Like, bro, none of this is your money. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna read it again. We're gonna keep going. Yo, this whole book of Judgment is that book. Look, okay, listen. Hold on. Verse 12. A preacher receiving a good salary giveth half of his money to the poor and the other half to the church. And his people say, oh, what a good man. And straightway they raise his salary, and they present him a good house, where he feasteth sumptuously every day, thanking God for his own prosperity. Now, hold on, let me just bring out another point. When this was penned in 1881, sure, they had churches. This is 1881, but not like they got churches today. And I'm sure they weren't even nowhere near close what they was doing back then to what they doing today, right? How would you know hundreds of years that we'd be right living this right here? Why? Because it came directly from the Father. He knew the shenanigans the church was about to get into. Listen, hold on, Dana, what you say? You need to do a short clip of this just from part 7. Look, I haven't even figured out how to, I know how to do the shorts, but I haven't figured out how to clip it from my video yet. It's quite a few different clips throughout here that I wanted to do, but I haven't figured it out. I haven't figured out how to do it. If somebody here know how to do that, please feel free. Clip it. Share it with me so I can make it a short on my video. Y'all can share it. I don't care. Share it everywhere. But I need to learn how to do it so I can be able to utilize the shorts on YouTube for this channel. Yo, listen, look. Okay, I'm gonna just read that joint. Look, I'm gonna read it. Then they be saying, don't worry what he do with it because you have, right? They get us with that all the time. Don't worry about what they doing with the money. You just give it with a pure motive and God will bless you. Boy, ugh, my boxing gloves. I told y'all, I'm still working on the non-resistant part. I'm ready to fight. Listen, hold on. Ding, ding. Let's go past the me and you. Look, okay, I'm reading, like Dana said, read that joint again. Look, okay, hold up. Let's go back to this preaching preacher. Verse 12, page 679, Book of Judgment, chapter 16. Right side of the page, just about halfway down, right? A preacher receiving a good salary giveth half of his money to the poor and the other half to the church. And his people say, oh, what a good man. And straightway they raise his salary, and they present him a good house where he feasteth sumptuously every day, thanking God for his own prosperity. But reference number 4 say he is laughing in his sleeve in his house. They giving me their money. Laughing in his sleeve. Listen. Now I say unto thee that preacher contributed nothing to the poor. The money he gave away was not his, but the fruit of false doctrines. And after, I didn't even get to this, but the fruit of false doctrines, after doctrines is reference number 25. And 25 says, fruit of hypocrisy. You telling everybody else to give, but you ain't gave a dime. What they're taking and giving, you're taking what they gave and redistributing it. You re-giving what they gave, but you ain't pulled a dime out your own pocket. Because you ain't got no money. Everybody filling your pockets with their money. You ain't did the first bit of work or labor with your own hands. You just running your mouth. What I hear y'all said? Mealy Mouthin? Pastors are, did I say that right? Mealy Mouthin. All over the pulpits in America. All over the world. That's got to be our title for today. Mealy Mouthin preachers. Somebody gonna report me. Listen, if I get another strike on this channel, They're going to kill me for a week, y'all. I'm trying to, but I'm just, you know what? I'm just going to take my chances with this today. Listen, and if they block me here for a week, go to the backup channel because I can go live from there, right? So if I'm blocked on either one, just go back to the other. But if I get a third strike, that's going to be my channel altogether, and I'm going to have to start another channel. So if that happens, go find me on Facebook so I can let y'all know what the new channel going to be. Listen, hold on. Look. Now I say unto thee that preacher contributed nothing to the poor. The money he gave away was not his, but the fruit of false doctrines. And down at the bottom, the fruit of hypocrisy. Verse 15, because he practiced not labor, but, oh my gosh, because he practiced not labor, but as a beggar and a vampire, obtained his money, not for work, but for words, he was false before Jehovah. Mealy Mouthin. I said Mealy. Hold on. M-E-A-L. Mealy Mouthin. Okay. Thank you, Key. Key, hey, girl. Look. Oh, look. Link your channel to Oahspe. Okay, Oahspe. Give me, like, put in the comment section the Oahspe channel so I make sure I link to the right one because I don't want to be linking to nothing wrong. Hold on. Okay. Listen. Because he practiced not labor, but as a beggar and a vampire, obtained his money, not for work, but for words. He was false before Jehovah. To serve thy God, or to preach and practice the words of thy God, require not great oratory or education. I require not colleges to brace me up, nor preachers that serve not the Creator. Woo. One cried out, come out to God, or make thy peace with the Lord. But he himself would not share his house with the poor of his own church. I've seen a few people this way, right? Yo, listen. They be quick to tell you to go on. This church down here is giving help to those who need. Yeah, you go over here, but Pastor, I'm going to be on the street tonight. But I also have come across some who will share their house with you, who will give from their own pocket. I can't lie and say all of them that way because they are not, right? I've come across some really good ones, and they will literally give you their last, right? And I think those, matter of fact, I'm certain that those rank higher than the ones that you go to, like, hold on, first of all, you stink. You can't come in my bathroom. Go down the street to the gas station, Exxon right there. Make sure you go to the desk because they don't leave it unlocked for people of the likes that look like you. You got to go to the concession counter, ask the cashier for the key, right? They quick to send you off, but they wouldn't dare open up their own home to you to help you get on your feet, right? Now there are some people that take advantage of that, right? You know, and you got to look out for that too. You got to really assess the situation and what's really going on, right? Because you also don't want nobody that's going to come in there and kill you in your sleep either, right? Listen, hold up. Listen. Verse 16. To serve thy God, or to preach and practice the words of thy God, require not great oratory or education. I require not colleges to brace me up, nor preachers that serve not the Creator. One crieth out, come to God, or make thy peace with the Lord. But he himself would not share his house with the poor of his own church. Verse 26 is at the church. I'm sorry. Reference number 26 is at the church. And 26 at the bottom said, would not give up his bed to a poor, sick woman. Verse 18. I say unto thee, all such are either hypocrites or deceivers of their own souls, except thou usest thy hands and bendest thy back in practice and in producing something in the world and contributing it unto others, thou art none of mine, nor knowest the way to come to me, nor to make peace with me. Wow. Let me read that again. I go back to 18. I say unto thee, all such are either hypocrites or deceivers of their own souls, except thou usest thy hands and bendest thy back in practice and producing something good in the world and contributing it unto others, thou art none of mine, nor knowest the way to come to me, nor to make peace with me. It has been said of old, do unto others as thou desirest should be done unto thee, also to return good for evil, and to sell all thou hast and give to the poor, and love thy neighbor as thyself. And these words are well known, but who is there that practice them? And we're all familiar. If we're Bible lovers, right? We all know where that come from, right? And these words are well known, but who is there that practices them? Wherein the words are impotent and of non-effect, in place of which many practice serving themselves by their labor. But in Jehovah's service, their practice is by prayers and confessions. Words, words, words. Wow. Listen. And after in place of, after of, is reference number 27. And 27 at the bottom says, to remedy which. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Y'all calling out pastors' names. I ain't going to repeat them. But y'all know, yep, listen. I'm going to read this again. Wherein the words are impotent and of non-effect, in the place of which many practice serving themselves by their labor. But in Jehovah's service, their practice is by prayers and confessions. Words, words, words. Saying it is not possible in the present condition of society to do these things. Did thy God limit thee, saying, do thou this in the present condition of society? This way was open for another condition, but thou soughtest not to find it. Thou wouldest not give up thyself and live in a brotherhood. Under the name of liberty, thou heldest fast to Satan and his haunts, saying, I am willing to serve the Creator, but I will not sacrifice my liberty. Father, forgive us all. Oh, my goodness. Listen. And thou sellest thyself to self. Oh, that's a good way to put it. Hold up. Yo. Hey, listen. Verse 26. And thou sellest thyself to self, which shall follow thee into the next world. And after into the next world is reference number 28. And 28 at the bottom says, into hotter. Or if you're a Christian, hotter means hell. It's going to follow you right into hotter. And there, you're going to live what you chose to do. Listen. And thou sellest thyself to self, or you sell yourself to, the church would rather put it in these words. You sell yourself to Satan, like you giving it to another person outside of yourself. No, you selfish, lazy bum. You have sold yourself to yourself, and you're going to find yourself in hotter with yourself. And thou sellest thyself to self, which shall follow thee into the next world. Know then, O man, that whoso would rise into my organic kingdoms in heaven shall teach himself the first lesson of liberty, which is, everybody get your highlighters. What is the first rule of liberty? Know then, O man, that whoso would rise into my organic kingdoms in heaven shall teach himself the first lesson of liberty, which is to free himself from self. We know that's the truth, right? Some people here, we can look at people, we can tell that you are in bondage to self. Your own thoughts, you put yourself there in that prison. You are in bondage to yourself, right? Other people going to try and nice it up for you. You in bondage to Satan. Let us pray for you with words, words, words. Y'all get out of here with that garbage. He shall not say, I want this, or I must have that, or I cannot have self-abridged, or I will suffer no dictation. I say unto thee, all such men are already in the bonds of Druhas and the throes of hell. But thou shalt say, here I am, O Jehovah, thy servant. Appropriate thou me whichever way I can do the most good unto others. Myself is no longer any consideration. This it is to be a faithist in the Father. I like that. Father, I give myself to you to use as thy will for the help and the upraising of my brothers and sisters, right? Because you got to think about it. If you're, listen, think about this, and I don't think some people get this. If you're the tool that's being used to help others, don't you think the user of the tool have to keep the tool in good working condition? So why would you at once think that you're going to go lacking or will not be cared for while you're serving others, right? If you're doing it from pure motives to serve the Father, right? You're by default, you're automatically taken care of. Like you don't even need to think about what am I going to do? How am I going to provide or do this? If you're truly being used by the Father and you're giving your heart to be used to him truly out of a pure heart for the betterment of your brothers and sisters to help raise them up, you're automatically, like I said, by default, you are cared for. Listen, this it is to be a faithist in the Father. If an exalted man marry a woman beneath him, he can lift her up. But if an exalted woman marry a man beneath her, he will pull her down. Oh my goodness. I mean, I guess I could see that. I could see how that could happen. Especially if there is a very strong-willed man, right? And he's strong in what he's doing, and the wife is timid and doesn't like to speak up for herself. I can see how she could be dragged down, pulled through the mud, and his vices become her vices. I can see that. Let me read that again. If an exalted man marry a woman beneath him, he can lift her up. But if an exalted woman marry a man beneath her, he will pull her down. Even so it is with the righteous man that weddeth to the world and liveth therein. Soon or late it will pull him down. But if the righteous man go with his fellows into a separate place and wed himself to Jehovah and his ways, then shall that righteous man be lifted up. And moreover, he shall be a power to lift up the world. Shall a bride not live with her husband, and they that choose the Creator live with him? I say unto thee, if thou do not live in a brotherhood on earth, thou shalt not soon find one in heaven. But thou shalt unite thyself with such as are compatible with thee, with whom thou shalt live equal in all things, wherein thou canst do unto them as thou wouldest be done by, loving them as thyself, returning them good constantly, being willing to make any sacrifice of thine own self's desires for the sake of founding the Father's kingdom on earth. Remembering thou wert born in darkness, and art not the same as will be the generations who come after thee, who shall be born in these communities, his kingdoms. Even for them that are yet born shalt thy sacrifice be. Wow. In such shalt thou consider that it is for the resurrection of others, and not for thyself, that thou art chosen of Jehovah. For herein lieth the key of all resurrections, which is to labor for others, to induce them to assimilate under Jehovah and with one another. The words of thy God are not for the glory of any man under the sun, The words of thy God are not for the glory of any man under the sun, or for any angel in heaven, but for Jehovah. Thou hast had revelation sufficient since thousands of years, and sacred books with most holy doctrines, and yet many that know these well come into the world as low as Druhas and as wandering spirits. Thou shalt judge thyself. Thy spirit is as a manuscript in thine own handwriting. Thou art daily writing thy grave and the place of thy abode in heaven. Wow. Listen, this is so good. You definitely can't be a loner. Oh, thank you. Look, thank you, Ima. Look, you gave it a page. We're on page 680 now. We just finished chapter 16. Listen, I'm sorry. I didn't look up. I'm sorry. But thank y'all for watching, putting page number. Listen. Faith is in the Father. That's our classification. Yes, faith is in the Father, Dana. Listen. Let me read these last 4 verses again at 43, page 680. Right side of the page at the top, verse 43. For herein, no, let me go back up. Verse 42. In which thou shalt consider, that is for the resurrection of others, and not for thyself, that thou art chosen of Jehovah. For herein lieth the key of all resurrections, which is to labor for others, to induce them to assimilate under Jehovah and with one another. The words of thy God are not for the glory of any man under the sun, or for any angel in heaven, but for Jehovah. Thou hast had revelation sufficient since thousands of years, and sacred books with most holy doctrines, and yet many that know these well come into the S world as low as Druhas and as wandering spirits. The S world meaning after you die, the spiritual realm. They call it S world. Thou shalt judge thyself. Thy spirit is as a manuscript in thine own handwriting. Thou art daily writing thy grade and the place of thy abode in heaven. That was good. That's good. It took us a half hour to read what was. It took me a half hour. Because I'm just like, what? I told y'all this is my first time reading through here with y'all. All right, y'all, chapter 17, page 680. Remember the words of thy God, O man, and be reasonable in thy understanding. Whithersoever thou buildest a city, and it increase in inhabitants, it equally increaseth in pauperism and crime. Neither hast thou any doctrine under the sun to provide against this. But I have now opened the book of knowledge before thee, the place of my habitation, and of the line of my light, and of my holy angels, I have made plain. Thou mayest travel 1,000 other roads, but none other shall be blessed with the light of my countenance. As thou sayest at the door of the college, young man, neither prayers nor confessions shall graduate thee in my house, to be companion to such as have passed on before thee. So say I at the gates of my exalted heavens unto the inhabitants of the earth, only by knowledge and righteous works done unto one another shall ye be able to endure the light of my kingdoms. That should make a whole lot of sense to us now, especially those of us that's been here from the beginning reading through, and we can understand why this says this, right? Listen, because anything else is complete laziness and lazery and loafing, right? Completely dependent on saviors and gods and stuff to save you and to come help you out we're past that time and growth, right? We've graduated from the toddler, the infant, and adolescent and toddler stage, right? Where you needed a God, a savior, or mom and daddy to help you. Now it's time to put into practice all those things we taught you. That's the phase where earth is at. That's the phase where humanity is at now, right? It's time to put into practice what we've been taught all these years. Bring all the good stuff with you. Bring all the lessons that you've learned. Apply it to yourself. Learn how to now save yourself. Use good judgment, right? Choose wisely. That's the phase where humanity is at now, right? Listen. Verse 6, page 680. So say I at the gates of my exalted heavens unto the inhabitants of the earth. Only by knowledge and righteous works done unto one another shall ye be able to endure the light of my kingdoms. Now it shall come to pass early in the Cosmon era that many shall be gifted to heal by laying on of hands. And they shall say, behold, the lost gift is returned. Have I not done a good thing in the world? But I say unto thee, O man, that these also mistake the coming of Jehovah's kingdom. The healing of the sick may be compared unto giving alms to the poor and saying, have I not done a good work? I say unto thee, these things were of past cycles. They shall now consider what shall be done to prevent sickness. This is better than to heal. We is sure enough here today. Think about all the master herbalists that are on the scene and then telling us how to prevent this, where you even need to pray for healing. No, let's prevent the sickness, right? We definitely in Cosmo era. Think about it. We got Yaki, we got Selah Shalom, master herbalist, Dr. Sabi, and quite a few others, right? I could be calling names all day. We are in the era where we are taking responsibility for ourselves, right? Not doing as thou or thou shalt wilt, whatever. Do whatever you want to do. If you feel good, do it. If you want to go to Hada early, my G, you want to lose this flesh, you ready to turn your flesh back over to Mother Earth, then do as thou wilt, right? But you better make sure you're doing it wisely so you can hang on to your flesh, right? Mother Earth don't want your flesh too early. What is it going to do for her, right? What is it going to do? Listen. I said, verse 10, I say unto thee, these things were of past cycles. They shall now consider what shall be done to prevent sickness. This is better than to heal. And if the Creator healed you, half of you, if you didn't learn how to prevent the sickness, you're just going to be sick again. Just give it some time because you ain't learned how to keep your body healthy. You ain't learned the right living foods to put in your body. You still putting death and flesh in your mouth. You just prolong the inevitable. You were supposed to die in 2010, but you're going to die in 2018, right? Because you're still using that. Yeah. Don't ask me about the switches no more because you're still using that same death diet and praising Jesus. Pastor Pork Chops. Bruh. I say unto thee, these things were of the past cycles. They shall now consider what shall be done to prevent sickness. This is better than to heal. They shall now consider what shall be done to prevent poverty. This is better than giving to the poor. Verse 11, page 681. I have not come to heal and treat the diseased in flesh or spirit, nor to reestablish any of the ancient doctrines or revelations. I am not a patcher up of old garments. Bro, you better say that. I am not a patcher up of old garments. I am not an apologizer for ancient revelations, nor have I anything in common with what is past. Neither their doctrines, nor sacred books, nor their gods, nor lords, nor saviors are anything before me. I am not come to captivate the ignorant and unlearned, nor am I come to call sinners to repentance, nor to convert the debauchee, nor to convert the profane man, nor to convert the harlot. Sufficient have been other revelations unto all these. Listen, if they ain't listen to them, they sure ain't gonna listen to me. I ain't wasting my time on them. If they still stuck in harlotry, go listen to the one who preached against harlotry. Sufficient have been other revelations unto all of these. Nor have I come to say, behold, this is my book, and there shall be none other. But behold, I come to found Jehovah's kingdom on earth. I come to the wise and learned, and not to one man only, but to thousands. That which I am uttering in these words, in this place, I am also uttering in the souls of thousands, and I will bring them together. I do not command, saying, thou shalt believe, because I, thy God, hath said, I do not command, saying, thou shalt believe, because I, thy God, hath said it, or revealed it in the book, like your mama did it, because I said so. That's why. So I ain't come to do that. It's past time for that. Past time for that. Listen. Right, look, listen, think about when you, let me mark my place. Hold on. I just got to read it all over. Hold on. I'm going to put it. Hold on. Listen, I'm going to go back to 7. think about this on your job, right? Or even in school, you can look at this, you can see it. Let's just use school, right? So there's a time for studying, right? And so you in class, there's a time for teaching, there's a time for studying. You got these times and the time for studying, and then you got the class, or maybe the couple classes where the teacher say, okay, bring all your study notes and everything. We're going to start reviewing for the test. Ask any and all questions now, because this is a time where we can flesh all this stuff out. We can go in and out. It's a time for these things. But when it's test time coming, when it's time for the test, don't you raise your hand, not ask me one question, because it's business time now, right? And some people that don't believe it, during test time, and the teacher look at you like, how dare you raise your hand? Didn't we talk about this before? This is not the time for that. You're going to fail, right? If you don't get it together, you don't remember. If you didn't study with the times that I had allotted for these things, then you SOL, my buddy, right? It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing, right? Even when it's evaluation time, right? You on the chopping block. You had this time, they called you in. Okay, let's see if we can work on this week. We're just going to give you a warning this time. We'll revisit this in about 30 days. Let's go through, give you some time. We understand there's some issues going on at home. You work these things out, right? But when you come here, it's time to work. We need to see production, right? When evaluation comes, it ain't time to take pity, right? You had a time for all these things, but you tricked off your time and didn't do anything. And now you calling me the bad guy because it's now time for accountability, and you have not been accountable all the time that I have given you to correct all these things. Listen, let's go back. Verse 7 on page 680. Now it shall come to pass early in the Cosmine era, which we are in. We're in the early part of the Cosmine era, right? If you look at how Oahspe calls the era, some people may call it different things, but we still at that same time. If you describe it, remember, let's not get hung up on terms. Let's define those terms. And it's probably better that we use the definition, because everybody can be on the same page with the definition, because my word is different from your word, but that word over here and this word right here is the same thing. See the definition? Okay, this is what we're talking about, right? Now it shall come to pass early in the Cosmine era that many shall be gifted to heal by laying on of hands. And they shall say, behold, the lost gift is returned. Have I not done a good thing in the world? But I say unto thee, O man, that these also mistake the coming of Jehovah's kingdom. The healing of the sick may be compared unto giving alms to the poor, and saying, have I not done a good work? I say unto thee, these things were of past cycles. They shall now consider what shall be done to prevent sickness. This is better than to heal. They shall now consider what shall be done to prevent poverty. This is better than giving to the poor. I have not come to heal and treat the disease in flesh or spirit, nor to reestablish any of the ancient doctrines or revelations. I am not a patcher up of old garments. I am not an apologizer for ancient revelations, nor have I anything in common with what is past. Neither their doctrines, nor sacred books, nor their gods, nor lords, nor saviors are anything before me. I am not come to captivate the ignorant and unlearned, nor am I come to call sinners to repentance, nor to convert the debauchee, nor to convert the profane man, nor to convert the harlot. Sufficient have been other revelations unto all of these, nor have I come to say, behold, this is my book, and there shall be none other. But behold, I come to found Jehovah's kingdom on earth. I come to the wise and learned, and not to one man only, but to thousands. That which I am uttering in these words, in this place, I am also uttering in the souls of thousands, and I will bring them together. I do not command, saying, thou shalt believe, because I, thy God, have said it, or revealed it in this book. I am come as thy elder brother. You good? 4. Are you done? You gonna get some more? Okay, hurry up so I can finish reading. Hurry up. Okay, verse 21, page 681. I am come as thy elder brother in the name of Jehovah. I show thee how thou canst live without the governments of man, and how thou shalt live in order to join in my resurrections. Let not the faithists of this day say, I will purify the government. I will leaven the whole mass. I say unto thee, thy God laboreth not in such method. The cure is, come thou out of ooze and be thou clean. And I remember, if I remember correctly, ooze, U-Z, is darkness. Let me look it up real quick. Ooze, U-Z. Ooze on page 786. Ooze, oozate, ooze age. The act of disintegrating a dead planet, the vanishing of things seen into things unseen, the location in which the world's people live, where Oozians live, worldliness or world's people, one of the 9 entities listed at the beginning of the book of Ben, dissolve out of being, also the name of one of the 4 types of ages when all life on planet becomes virtually extinct and the earth is in the midst of an ice age. And I'll read Oozian. Matter of fact, I'll read the next 2. Oozian. Oozian is those of the world's people who lack faith in Jehovah and advocate the practice of war and destruction. Also may refer to vampires. See vampire in glossary. Vampire is the very next one. It says vampire or Oozian. A spirit who engrafts on mortals in order to obsess or possess so as to live on the substance mortals eat and drink, and often absorbing the strength and life, vital energy of the mortals they attack. We kind of talked about this yesterday, about the atmospheric portion of the foods that you eat, whether it's flesh or whether it's living foods meaning like fruits and veggies, things that the body thrives on and restores itself on. When you bite into it or you cook it, there's an atmospheric portion of that rises up from the fruits or from the flesh, which is why the Bible talked about the sweet smelling savor when they gave sacrifices. The Uzians or the Druhas, those who died in chaos, those are the things that they feed on, the atmospheric portion of those sacrifices, which makes a whole lot of heck of sense to me now. Because remember when we was going through it, I'm like, y'all, something is wrong about these sacrifices. As we was walking through trying to shake out the truth from error. And I was like, I got a whole nother Bible where I'm going through, I'm just highlighting all the sacrifices, because I don't think Israel was ever supposed to be doing sacrifices. Something about these sacrifices won't let me go. Y'all remember me saying that? Like about 2 years ago now, while I'm going through this, I'm like, something is wrong and I'm going to figure it out, because we should not have been ever doing sacrifices. Even a couple times in the scriptures, you can find where when the creator was truly speaking. Not everything in the Bible is from the creator, but there are some truths from the creator in the Bible, right? It tells us that we should have never been doing sacrifices, right? Even King David, when you get to Psalms, he talk about the sacrifices or the bulls of your lips. This is what Jehovah, this is what the Creator, what the Father, what Abba requires of us. The sacrifice of our lips, right? Not the slaughtering of flesh, right? But you got to read it. You got to keep reading it enough for those things to even jump out at you. Devon, what's up, brother? Trying to understand and help a friend understand this. Let me tell you how I understood it. By just reading. I keep reading stuff over. Even with the Bible, before I even knew about Oahspe, Devon, y'all know how much I read through the Bible. Everything, I constantly reading through the Bible, right? 4 times a year, once every 90 days. But the more I read, I didn't just read, but I was reading, studying, highlighting, searching out different things. And then I started having questions about a lot of stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, something is wrong about this. I don't think, and one of the first things I realized, I was like, wait a minute, the voices are changing in here. I don't think this is the same voice of the Father. It's because the tonality, I was picking up on the tonality. You know how you can talk to somebody, even if they disguise their voice. if you spend time enough with them, you can tell, like somebody call your phone, they disguise their voice. You'll be able to pick up on it. You know, that for a quick second, it may throw you off. John, this you? Man, quit playing. I knew that was you, right? We can tell that. But we can also tell when it's somebody trying to be an imposter. They may have all the words right. They may tell you the story the way they tell it, but it's something about when they tell the story, that same type of feeling or animation that the person that you know that gives it, it's like you're an imposter. They don't even talk that way. You could be saying all the correct words, but you are an imposter. It's like you're not telling the story the right way. Just like somebody could learn something. And here's what I learned about the Bible. The Bible is about literally like a family of people. Would you move? Don't do that. It's about a family. And if you aren't intimate with that family and you don't know the certain, like the lingo that the family has and the inside jokes that the family have, you don't understand it, and you get the whole story chopped and screwed. And so you get somebody else trying to explain, no, well, Israel, this, and this is why. And it's like, you are completely dumb about what really happened. You trying to fool us to make us think with all this research and stuff that you got going on that you really understood what was going on in that family. And you do not, right? You can tell. That's getting that when you go through the scriptures and you understand about the Creator, right? And you understand that everything that he does tends to life. You have to raise the question, well, why would you tell Abraham, even if you wasn't for real, you just wanted to see where his heart was at, why would you even tempt him in a way to tell him to take the life of his son, the one that you promised him? Why would you even play that way? And if you was really listening to the Father, you would have heard him say, I didn't, right? Just like I did. And that threw me for a loop. I'm like, what do you mean? Because mind you, I'd already developed how to hear the voice of the Father and decipher him from all other voices while reading through this. And that's what threw me for a loop. I'm like, wait a minute, what you mean? This the Bible. Hold on, this your book, ain't it? I ain't write that book. I'm like, quit playing. Yes, you did. That's what they told me. I didn't write that book. And so I keep going through stuff. He said, keep on searching, keep on reading, keep on. He said, just go a little bit further. You'll see. Right. And so as I began to search and then coming across this and understanding that it's common sense to me now, because even when you think about it, because at first I was going through these little growth stages, like grew a little here on this level. Then there's another whole level. Well, what I thought I previously knew, that was just a small little stepping stone to where I was going, to where it's like, we ain't supposed to be consuming meat at all. And I know, because I've been eating a kosher diet, right, according to the Levitical laws, and I still got this stuff breaking my body down in my early 30s, right, having to go to the doctor about different things, women issues, all out of whack. And I was eating according to the Levitical laws, clean meats. But them clean meats will still kill your body because we were not designed to consume flesh. Like all of these things, I literally had to walk through the levels to be able to stand before you. Be like, we ain't supposed to eat nothing. You were never supposed to have been sacrificing. And ain't nobody going to get me to change my mind no matter how much you done studied the Bible, because I didn't actually live it. And I walked through the steps and I tested it. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I can tell, I can prophesy to you, right? In these things, I can prophesy to you of a surety with 100% accuracy that if you put meat away from your diet, your body will begin to heal itself, right? I mean, a master herbalist can tell you that, right? It becomes common sense to us now. It wasn't so common before because we didn't know and we didn't understand, right? So, and here's the thing, when you're still consuming flesh, some of these revelations you can't even understand because the flesh keeps you from understanding. The murderous, the flesh you didn't murder, or butcher could have did, don't matter. You partook in his murders by eating and consuming flesh and blood. It weighs the spirit down and it keeps it foggy and you cannot see and you can't hear, which is why to even have this conversation with somebody, if they really want to know the truth, ask them to take it a step further. Before we have this conversation, let's fast from all meats. I mean, I'm already plant-based, but if you really want to get another truth, fast for 30 days from meats. Don't eat any meat, no meat byproduct whatsoever, because it'll prepare their spirit. It'll lighten their spirit up to where they can hear truth. But until they get to certain levels, you're literally wasting your breath. you're literally casting your pearls amongst swine, right? So that's the first thing I would say, Devon. You know, you got to explain with a little bit of wisdom, depending on what the diet is, right? And if they're already like plant-based, they could just really be stubborn and set in their ways. You know, it's just different angles. You have to really understand who you're talking to, you know, before you choose which point you can agree on to help reveal a little bit more truth, to help unfold them, so to speak, unfold them in the truth, right? So, yeah, that's why I would say read through it and use the resource. I mean, Dana, Divine, y'all researchers, y'all know, put it. No, they still eating everything. Well, there you have it, my friend. There you have it. Listen, but seriously, if people are really searching for the Father, right? I mean, that's just the nature of some people. They just gonna argue you down. But if they really serious, right, and if they're really your friend, they'll be like, okay, you know what? I'll hear you out. Okay, how long? You said 30 days. What about 21? You know, okay, I'll walk with you on this. Okay, let's do 21, right? Let's do 21 days. Shucks, that still happen because the body will begin to start detoxing, like, and especially if they decide to do like a straight water fast or something, or just do juices or whatever. Excuse me, around about the 10th or the 14th day, the body is going to start releasing some of that hardened material caught in the intestines, right? And all that clogginess in the intestines that's clogging up this brain is going to help unclog this brain, because your gut is nothing more than an extension of your brain, right? Through your mouth, but it's like your second brain, you know? So if you clear this up, if you clear up the gut, you'll clear up the soul, you'll clear up the mind, you'll clear up the heart, you'll clear up the eyes, the ears. Everything is connected, right? So, y'all, I don't know what y'all saying over here. Hold on. Mom, hey girl, hey. Look, I say, hey, mom, hey girl, hey, my mama. Hey girl, hey. Mom, shalom. Oahspe College University, shalom. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, let me go back up. Make sure I ain't missing. Hold on. I like that Oahspe College University said this chapter should be sent to the government. That was awesome. That's awesome. Hold on. He said, no, you cannot be a loner, but uniting yourself with people who are compatible with thee and serving the Creator. I love that, the way you put that key. Yes, amen. Hold on. Like they'll listen, but I agree. He's talking about sending it to the government. Yeah, they don't like to listen to nothing, which is why people like us need to be in those positions, right? Shucks, right? Although we don't inherit this, but still, we should be preparing this place to be a better training ground for those that are coming after us after we leave. Because you know who they go when we gone from here, who the flesh beings, who they gonna be listening to when we gone from here? Us, because we take those positions that our sharks had now. The work we doing here, either we making it easier for ourselves when we go, or we making it harder. If they ain't gonna listen, it's because we done a piss poor job of preparing this place, the training ground for when we leave, right? We the alumni. We'll be the alumni. Right? So remember the different phases you got to go through and grow, right? Being a Shars, Asaph, Lewis for 200 years, right? Families and stuff, you learn how to prophesy appropriately and what this child gonna be based on generations like 6 back, with not just the mother but also the father, the atmosphere, all these things, and how long it takes to make a true prophet, one who can hear and see from the Creator, at least 6 generations, right? We're going to be the alumni, right? Who we have helping us, our brethren and sisters that are unseen, connected to the Father. They are the alumni of the earth. We will soon be alumni, helping the generations that we don't even know that's coming, right? And they're going to be in a different era from what we're at, right? And it's only rightful that us, think about it. This is making more and more sense as the days pass on, right? With the generations as they progress and at every new era that we have, it's only right. It's only right that those who lived in this era. So, okay, let me make sure I'm explaining this the right way. So the next era will be way more advanced than what we currently are, right? And they're going to get that advancement by way of us, right? Because we would help develop some things, and as we go, we're still developing and we're kind of helping them through. It's the same thing. Everything is it's the different the generations, like I said before, the generations of the iPhone. It just gets better and better, right? Because we took what we previously learned and we apply it and we tweak it a little bit more, and we're working out the bugs with each generation that comes through, right? Okay, all right, hold on. Hold on, who is that? It's a new person that jumped. I didn't see. Hold on. Palala, shalom. Is dairy safe for this journey? I've been drinking plant-based milks, but still consume cheese. You have different ones. Some are just like vegetarian. Others are plant-based. There is like, I try not to do dairy at all because dairy is still depending on what type of dairy. Some is still like meat byproduct. So I don't mess with them. But like my biggest thing is like coffee creamer. And I have found, and I talked about this before, I have found some non-dairy coffee creamers, but even still, I don't even drink coffee like I used to, right? It's very rare. Now I'll test it just to see if my taste, because my taste and stuff has like been off, for a while. And sometimes I'll taste things to see if it still have this nasty taste to it. So now I will add some to it, but it's still just as horrible and it tastes like perfume to me. So that's probably one of the better things that's happened to me to help me break my habit of coffee is when I caught COVID a couple of years ago. My senses and everything is like, so now it's like the craving for it, I don't even have it. It just kind of helped me wean off it. But to answer your question, some people still do dairy, but I would say if you can completely work yourself off of all of that and be like 100% plant-based, it'll take a while. Learning how to do recipes, seasoning things just to your liking, all of that. It'll take a little while. And it's a part of the growth process, right? But I would say, everybody has to start somewhere. Those are my thoughts. So, okay. Tabitha, hey girl, hey. All right. Set Apart said, but one thing about veggies, if you buy organic, hey girl. But one thing about veggies, if you buy organic, you don't have that problem. Better still grow your own if you can. I agree with that. The net says fish make the body smell. It comes out the pore. It does. It does. Pizza is my only dairy stronghold. You know what? I started from Sam's Club. I started getting those plant-based pizzas, and they're actually really good. I don't know if I got another. Hold on, let me see. This right here is called cauliflower. I had one. I thought my niece ate it. This, I actually like this, right? And what I'll do, I'd add seasoning to it. So I get like some, like Italian seasoning. I put my own seasonings on top of it. But I also add to this some of this. Boy, you better put that back. Put it back. Hold on. Let me see that. Thank you. Yeah. I'm about to show y'all this. The only plant-based cheese I'll eat when I get the hankering for it and when I add to my pizza is Viola Life, right? All them other ones I done tried, and they're absolutely nasty. I don't care that they make some disgusting plant-based stuff, and I'm just like, I ain't for it. I got to learn how to do my own, but this, to me, is good, and it actually melts, right? So this is the only kind I'll use. Yeah, so you just gotta, and anything by, hold on, let me show y'all this too. Hold on, girl. Anything by field roast, plant-based. My uncle put me on to this one. Anything by field roast, like playing in a football field and roasting on the oven, field roast. Anything by field roast is good. And of course, I still add my seasons onto that, but it is pretty good. All right, so what I do, I try not to, watch your head, Pooh. I definitely try not to overdo with some of the processed plant-based foods because I realize that it's also They have a lot of different stuff that they add in, although it's plant-based, but I found out when you learn how to make it yourself, it's better. And it, some stuff, it just depends. You gotta watch out for like soy, all this other stuff. It'll clog you up. And it's like, you just gotta stay away from it. And it also impedes the weight loss that I'm trying to accomplish. So it's just certain things I'm just learning as I go along, trial and error, like, oh, they say it's plant-based, but it's still really not good for you. So let's forego this altogether. So you got to be very careful with it, you know. And if you got the time, it's better. I would say it's definitely better to grow your own and create dishes where you make it yourself, you know. So I got like, I was about to exaggerate again. I was about to say I got like 1,800 plant-based cookbooks, more like about 10. But y'all get the point. I got a lot of them that I don't even be opening, right? So, but yeah, it just takes some time and practice and just consistency. That's what I would say, right? But I got some that I got down, and I just kind of stick with them till I get strength to try something else and try and perfect another recipe. But yeah, okay. You made some almond milk. Nah, I say I just be buying my almond milk. You know, almond milk and oat milk. We definitely need our own cooking channel. Hold on, Ema be doing some. I watch some of her channel. She do some good recipes. Set apart living. Most veggies I buy is frozen because it'll go to waste. Yeah. Okay, y'all. I do listen, Jamia. She said it's best to eat raw live foods. I'm not there yet. That is my ultimate goal. Y'all probably hear me talk about it a couple times. That is my ultimate goal. I really want to be. I say 100. Let me not say 100% wrong. Yes. I can end it. Yeah, you can end it. Let's say 90% because I still like some warmth to my stuff where I can cook something like I'll steam my veggies or sugar, just saute them until they soft. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I like them soft, not hard and crunchy. So I say give me about 85, 90% raw, but I still sometimes I just need something warm. Something warm, right? But yeah, all right, y'all. But yeah, juicing is a really good thing too, right? All right, y'all. I have T5 grow lights to grow easy vegetables inside. You know what? I got a light. I don't even know. Look, I don't even know where that light at. Cause I just be buying stuff. I got a whole bunch of stuff for when I'm like seriously. I mean I got hydrator that I ain't never used. Some of everything. My husband like, look, you can quit buying all this stuff till you actually ready to use it. I'm like, but when I'm ready to use it, at least I already got it. You see my thinking where I'm going with this? And he just look at me and walk out the room. I'm like, all right, husband. All right, listen. Okay, look, y'all. Okay, Lindsay, black bean burgers. I like black bean burgers. You make them from scratch. Okay. I have tried, I'm still perfecting that recipe, making my own, getting it seasoned just the way I like it. So I'm still working on some stuff. All right, y'all, where we at? Ooze is where we ended. Hold on. Let me just go back. Let's go back. Wait, did I finish reading the definition? I think I did, the vampire. Oh, let me double check first. Hold on. Nope, I didn't finish reading. Okay, let me just read it over. On page 786, vampire Oozian, a spirit who engrafts on mortals in order to obsess or possess so as to live on the substance mortals eat and drink, often absorbing the strength and life, vital energy of the mortals they attack. And that's when we started talking about the food and stuff. Nevertheless, these shall not include fetals who function in a similar way, but are generally victims of circumstance and not typically malevolent. See Book of Leka, chapter, is this 14 XIV? Chapter 14, verse 10. Not to be confused with the mythical distortion of this concept in fiction and folklore. Okay, let's go to the Book of Leka real quick. I think that's 14, Book of Leka, XIV. Let me just look in the table of contents. Page 388 is where it starts. What are you doing? Put it down. Okay, chapter XIV. Boy, put that on. Don't you drink that? That's nasty. Put it down. Yeah. You didn't just mix that from multiple cups. You don't even know who them cups belong to. Okay, chapter 14. Okay. Page 421 is where it starts, verse 10. So go to page 422. Hold on. No, sorry. Looking at the wrong one. It's at Book of Leviticus at the top. I'm sorry. I was looking at the Ark of Bond. Okay, Book of Leviticus at the top, chapter 14, starts on page 413 and verse 10 is at the next page. Oh, and I got it in brackets. Page 414 at the top, left-hand side. Verse 10 says, spirits who inhabit mortals in order to live on the substance mortals eat and drink, and oft absorbing the strength and life of mortals, shall be known as Uzians, vampires. Nevertheless, these shall not include fetals. Okay. All right, so that's the end of that. So let's go back to the book of Judgment. And now I'll start back at 21. That's good, y'all. Yeah, everybody got to come together and share some of their stuff, growing your own food. Congratulations, everybody, on growing their own food. Miko's has good mozzarella and good vegan butter. I'm going to try that, y'all. Okay, thanks for sharing. All right, so back to page 681, verse 21 in chapter 17. I come as thy elder brother in the name of Jehovah. I show thee how thou can live without the governments of man, and how thou shalt live in order to join my resurrections. Let not the faithless of this day say, I will purify the government. I will leaven the whole mass. Okay, listen. Okay, we'll keep reading. Like I just said, we should be taking over these positions, but in this day, let me just read this again, what they say. Let not the faithless of this day say, I will purify the government. I will leaven the whole mass. I say unto thee, thy God laboreth not in such method. The cure is, come thou out of Uz and be thou clean. I get that. Whoso hath more faith in Uz, let him remain in Uz. Whoso hath faith in Jehovah, let him come into his kingdoms. To know thy Father in heaven, O man, who hath learned this? They profess him in words, but they believe him. They profess him in words, but they believe him in their behavior. Renounce them, O my beloved. Gather up thy household and follow my voice, which I speak into thy soul from the Almighty. Follow thou thy highest knowledge, and make thyself a glory in Jehovah's kingdom forever and ever. Next chapter, we're on page 681, chapter 18. Hey, babe. Hear the words of your God, O ye priests and preachers and rabbis. Look, guess who live today? Devon.
Oh, what's going on?
Devon, didn't I tell you? The day we saw Devon in Walmart, no, since we're here, you get a chance to see it now.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Devon, James didn't recognize you because he had, he heard about you, but he had never met you face to face. So the first time when we heard you speak, I heard you speak.
No, you heard her speak. I seen her. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't recognize the voice, so I didn't even turn around and look, because my husband be knowing a whole bunch of people. Oh yeah, he know me now. Look, and so he just he didn't even say anything about it, and I didn't think twice about it until we came on you again and we was about to leave. And you said hey to him again, and so when I was like, oh hey Devon, and I saw you and Gigi and everything. And so James was like, who is that? That's the second time he done spoke to me. I'm like, Devon and Dana, they be Uncle Anthony, our Valerie friend. They be watching us in the morning. He was like, I never knew. Then he felt bad. He He was like, man, I don't want him to think I'm a heathen. So James actually went walking around Walmart. Like the whole time, Devon, we was walking to the checkout line. We was getting the bikes for the kids. And after we checked out, he was like, hold on. He said, cause I don't want him thinking I'm a heathen. He said, I gotta go find her and apologize. He was like,
wrong person that don't speak back like I'm too goody or something like that.
He went looking for you in Walmart. I'm like, babe, they done probably already left, So he was like, come with me. I was like, I'm gonna stay here right at the door, and I'm gonna watch these 2 bikes while you go look for Devon. He went walking around Walmart looking for you, Devon. I was like, you know what? Let me call Dana. We're gonna get in the car. I'm gonna call Dana. And I called Dana and told her, so, yeah, he didn't want you to. He didn't want you to think he was a heathen. He was just gave you a regular, hey, what's up, dude, and went on about his business. Yeah. Devon said, all good, bro.
For sure. For sure.
Okay. All right, y'all. Listen. Chapter 18, verse 1. We're on page 681, y'all. Hear the words of your God, O ye priests and preachers and rabbis, and all ye that set yourselves up before men, professing to hold the key to salvation and the places of my resurrections in heaven. Hearken to the words of your elder brother, God of these heavens and the earth. Behold, I will set you in judgment over yourselves, and the powers of Jehovah within you shall cry out for truth and justice. Take your chosen of the congregation of your church, and make manifest whereof ye preach, and prove that you have a good and sufficient doctrine for the salvation of souls. Choose ye the best of your flock, and show before your God an example of all such as serve not mammon, but Jehovah. Seal up their mouths, for ye shall judge them, not by words, but by what cometh of the soul. That's good. And ye shall divide with one another your earthly possessions, being as brethren, and ye shall cast it upon the altar of your church, saying, we give it to the poor. Or if ye have houses, ye shall say to the poor, come and dwell herein. Persuade not yourselves, O men of darkness, that ye are not graded by the angels above. Or say to yourselves, Jehovah seeth not, nor heareth. Nor say, when we are dead, our souls shall turn suddenly good and ascend to the right hand of God. Nor flatter yourselves, saying, we did the best we could under the circumstances. Verily, I say unto you, ye have not fulfilled the first law, which is to make clean your own corporal bodies. Wow, listen to this. Let me read that over. Then I'm going to keep going. Verse 11, page 681, chapter 18. Verily I say unto you, ye have not fulfilled the first law, which is to make clean your own corporal bodies, because ye have stuffed yourselves with carnal food. I think that's what we was just saying. Listen. Because ye have stuffed yourselves with carnal food, my holy angels cannot approach you, neither can your understanding approach the place of my kingdoms. Remember what I was just saying, Devon? Like, for them to even hear, they got to at least cleanse themselves up from the meat and stuff. Some things they just will not be able to understand if they're consuming meat, right? Let me read that again. This is good. Verse 10. Nor flatter yourselves, saying, we did the best we could under the circumstances. Verily, I say unto you, ye have not fulfilled the first law, which is to make clean your own corporal bodies.
Man, all y'all do is talk about eating meat in that thing.
And you just sitting there stuffing a piece in your mouth.
I don't feel guilty.
You got a whole lot of work you got to do.
Brother, man. Trust me.
Listen, look.
Yeah.
Look, you know.
To the pure, all things are pure.
Listen, we all grow at our own rate when we're ready to walk in the truth.
To the pure, all things are pure.
What that mean for you, Mr. Murphy?
To the pure, all things are pure.
What do you just say? Yes, baby.
Jay said that you're not boss of him.
Okay, Bella. Well, technically, you're not the boss of him. Even though you're his auntie, he got you by a few months. He's a little bit older, but y'all like the same age, so Y'all don't boss. Y'all see, y'all don't really get that privilege, the auntie and uncle thing, because y'all was like born at the same time. So it's really like y'all cousins, brother and sister. So, you know, go on, girl, move. Listen, everybody got to grow at their own pace. Everybody has to understand and choose for themselves, right? You ain't got to bash nobody over the head when they're ready to walk in their highest light, according to what Oahspe says, walk in your highest light that you understand. When they're ready to walk in that, they will. You ain't got to beat nobody over the head. It has to be their choice, right? They have to take full responsibility for themselves.
I'll see what she's trying to do. But trust me.
Look, I don't beat you over the head, do I? I'm like, why you eating flesh? Why you making animal sandwiches? I don't be doing that to you, do I?
Some of y'all done ate worse. Don't give me.
Some people, no, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right there. Let me keep going.
Keep on in your life.
Look.
But no,
okay.
No, right is right. To the pier.
Listen. Let me go back. Hold on.
So we done worked like 20 times, ain't you?
Well, yeah.
I think you got it by now.
Okay. The book of Judgment, chapter 18, verse 11. Page 681. Verily I say unto you, ye have not fulfilled the first law, which is to make clean your own corporal bodies, because ye have stuffed yourselves with carnal food. My holy angels cannot approach you, neither can your understanding approach the place of my kingdoms. How much less then have ye purified your souls, wherein ye will not put away flesh, because ye love flesh, even so will ye not put away. Listen, I did not choose to read this part when you came downstairs. We just happened to be.
Oh, I don't feel to read it.
Lord have mercy. Look. Verse 12, how much less then have ye purified your souls, wherein ye will not put away flesh, because ye love flesh, even so will ye not put away self-righteousness. Because ye shun the practice of labor, showing to the world ye love words and the renown of men encased, making preferences in your churches, having rich and poor therein, which is itself your condemnation. For ye should divide with one another, putting in practice your doctrines. What one of you hath the congregation who have given up all, and who make themselves alike and like, rich and poor? Say ye, my kingdoms in heaven are after such manner? I say unto you, ye shall be bound in the first resurrection in Hada, to all these whom ye have professed to lead. Neither shall ye rise in heaven until the lowest of your congregations of spirits have put away uncleanliness and selfishness, which is the first labor. Wow. And neither shall ye rise in heaven after heaven is reference number 29. And 29 at the bottom says, ye shall ascend until. So let me just read it again. Verse 15, page 681. On the right side, because it's 2 verse 15 is on the right side of the page at the bottom. I say unto you, ye shall be bound in the first resurrection in Hada, to all these whom ye have professed to lead. Neither shall ye rise in heaven until the lowest of your congregations of spirits have put away uncleanliness and selfishness, which is the first labor. And after this, they shall learn to practice fellowship in union for the resurrection of others. So those people that lead churches, pastors, whatever title you call yourself, and you're leading a group of people, as long as they are operating in the flesh or doing all of these things, you can't rise any higher to all of the people that were under your teaching, under the sound of your voice, under your tutelage, have all risen, and everybody's on the same level of the highest light. Then you can continue to rise together as brothers and sisters, hand in hand. Nobody the leader, nobody the follower. We all learn together and grow together, right? Verse 16, flatter not yourselves that because ye wear a fine cloth and ye preach, that ye are not responsible also, nor hope that when ye become spirits, ye shall ascend suddenly into places of delight. Ye are marked by your God. Wow. Your souls are being written upon with your deeds and works and words, and ye shall see yourselves as in a mirror, and of your own accord shun my kingdoms of light. And after written upon is reference number 30. And 30 says, written all over with. So I'm going to read the whole verse again. Your souls are being written upon with your deeds and works and words, and ye shall see yourselves as in a mirror, and of your own accord shun my kingdoms of light. Because ye have learned words and practice only in words, behold, I come in this day to command practice in works, not for a pittance, but for all ye have. Behold, O ye destroyers of religion, ye perverters of the word of your God. And after God is reference number 31. And 31 at the bottom says, I am not come to destroy your religions. Ye have done that already. Verse 20, I come to give ye a religion wherein all men can be as brethren. Even the infidel shall accept the Creator and good works. For he, being the fruit of your behavior, is even in the foreground in the march of my armies. Wow. Oh, yeah. Hour 30, we'll read one more chapter. Okay, so chapter 19, the subtitle is God Giveth a New Religion. So maybe I should read too, because the next one for 20 is God declareth the day of judgment, and also he bequeath liberty unto all men. We'll see. I think I might need to keep these two together. Okay, but chapter 19, page 682. God give. Hold on, let me get a piece of tissue. Blow my nose. Hold on. My sinus is still very hot.
Get your jacket and your shirt, come off the stairs right quick, hang your jacket up in your closet right quick. Josh, did you hang those jackets up in the closet?
Yes, baby. Okay. Well, I tell you, if y'all ain't getting none of them bitters from Salem, I'm telling you, them jakes work. Yes. No, I didn't. I didn't call your name.
I said it to your candy.
I didn't say that. Go talk to your daddy. Yeah, so, yeah, Sudie.
When you be done?
In a few minutes. Go on back upstairs. Go to the loft. Oh, yeah, go to the loft. Go play. Yeah, so, yeah, them bitters, like, I didn't think that I had still so much mucus on the inside of me, right? It's definitely, it worked. It's breaking up stuff, so, yeah, them bitters work. Okay. Chapter 19, God giveth a new religion. God said, hear the words of your God, O ye preachers, priests, and rabbis. Seek not to gainsay my words. In times past, I had such representatives, and I said unto them, go ye, preach my doctrines unto all the inhabitants of the earth. Make them understand the way of the Almighty. And ye shall take neither money nor scrip for your labor but be an example of faith in the promises of God. So your predecessors went forth fulfilling my commandments. But alas, how different ye are this day. And after how different ye are, after R is reference number 32, and 32 says, but behold what ye are doing in this day. I'll read all verse 5 again. But alas, how different ye are this day. Ye patronize the man of wealth. Ye boast of the riches of your congregations. Ye receive salaries, and ye dwell in fine houses. My doctrines ye sell as merchandise. Ye have fine temples and fashionable audiences, and ye curry favor with those who are in affluence, and ye go not to the drunkard's den, nor to the unfortunate woman. Take ye these not in your arms, saying, my brother, my sister, come with me. I will show you the kingdom of God. Behold, I have come to you in spirit and in truth, but ye put me off, saying, is not the first duty to one's own household? Is not self-preservation the first law? Wow. Now I answer you, these questions spring from the beast and not from the spirit. Neither availeth it you one jot or tittle to rise at break of day and recite prayers all day, nor to say, God help the poor, or blessed art thou, my God. When ye cannot purchase another by flattery, how hope ye for the favor of the Almighty by praise and prayers and flattery? Behold, the selfishness of man hath made the world a place of wretchedness. The people are in misery and want. And after misery and want, after want is reference number 33. And 33 says, made the world like a house on fire. My little ones are in pain and suffocation. Wow. Verse 13. Go then quickly to them and provide a remedy. This is the new religion I give unto you, demanding sacrifice of you and your congregations of all ye have that is not in use and actual need. And ye shall judge the limit thereof, remembering that whosoever is bound on earth is bound in heaven. I have drawn aside the veil of death, your sons and daughters, your fathers and mothers, the dead and the living stand face to face. Wow. And the angels are testimony unto you that your doctrines, as you practice them, are a blasphemy against the Almighty. Ye persuade yourselves and your congregations that after death the soul shall go far away into an exalted heaven. But behold, they that are dead are with you. Whew. Listen, I found that to be true. I found that to be true. Listen, hold on. Sometimes I wish I didn't see some of the things I saw, right? But the more, look, what's crazy is, as you getting more sensitive, more spiritually sensitive, and you cleansing yourself, your body, your flesh, like things just turn on like automatically. You don't have to pray and tarry for certain type of gifts. They just automatically cut on inside of you because you put yourself on a frequency of the Father and you're there. So whatever's there on that frequency, it flows through you, to you. You can see, you can hear, right? Listen. Verse 17, ye persuade yourselves and your congregations that after death the soul shall go far away into an exalted heaven. But behold, they that are dead are with you. They testify unto you by the thousands and by tens of thousands that ye led them astray with false doctrines. And after false doctrines, it's reference number 34. And 34 at the bottom says, astray with false doctrines. I'll read it again. Verse 17, page 682. Ye persuade yourselves and your congregations that after death the soul shall go far away and to an exalted heaven. But behold, they that are dead are with you. They testify unto you by the thousands and by tens of thousands that ye led them astray with false doctrines. The evidence of the work of heaven is at your door. Ye stand accused before Jehovah, that ye practice not what ye preach, that ye fare sumptuously and connive at sin, that ye preach what ye cannot prove. By the angels of your own blood and kin are ye accused. Wow. Ye have no personal knowledge of heaven, and in stubbornness of heart ye dispute with my seers and prophets, who can prove before you they have power to see unseen things and to hear that which ye cannot hear. Oh my goodness. This book ain't playing. The creator ain't playing. He ain't playing with none of us. Listen, I'm going to read that again. Ye have no personal knowledge of heaven, and in stubbornness of heart ye dispute with my seers and prophets, who can prove before you they have power to see unseen things and to hear that which ye cannot hear. Ye study spiritual things with your corporal senses, neither have ye capacity to see and hear the spirits of the dead. How much less then shall ye presume to interpret Jehovah and his kingdoms? If I had a mic, I'd drop it. But I dropped my pen instead. It's the closest thing to me. Woo! Look. Verse 20. Ye study spiritual things with your corporal senses, neither have ye capacity to see and hear the spirits of the dead. How much less then shall ye presume to interpret Jehovah and his kingdoms? Now behold, I come in this era, not only to declare to you that the time of preaching is at an end, save wherein it is practiced in deed as it is spoken in word, but also to prophesy to you that many of you will give up your calling and preach no more. Oh no, I'm not a prophet, I'm a farmer. Ain't that what the Bible say? No, I'm not a prophet, I'm a farmer. But how you get the marks in your hand? See, what had happened was, we was out last night, right? And, he told me to go ahead and build a hay. And so I was being careless with, a bunch of garbage. They about to start peddling. Oh, no, I ain't a preacher. I ain't a prophet. No, I was repeating. See, if you had been standing there and not been ear hustling, you should have listened to the whole story. What you heard me say, I was repeating what I had heard this other dude say. And I told him, listen, we can't go down this route. We just got to start practicing these things before the... All right? People is full of it. Listen. Hold on. Look. Let me just go back to 19. Ye have no personal knowledge of heaven, and in stubbornness of heart ye dispute with my seers and prophets, who can prove before you they have power to see unseen things and to hear that which ye cannot hear. Ye study spiritual things with your corporal senses, neither have ye capacity to see and hear spirits of the dead. How much less then shall ye presume to interpret Jehovah and his kingdoms? Now behold, I come in this era, not only to declare to you that the time of preaching is at an end, save wherein it is practiced indeed as it is spoken in word, but also to prophesy to you that many of you will give up your calling and preach no more. And your temples and churches and meeting houses shall be turned into consultation chambers to find remedies against poverty, crime, and debauchery. And the congregation shall be enrolled, and at the meetings they shall be inquired after to see if they are in need. And they shall have volunteers who shall go about seeking out the helpless and distressed and providing for them. And after providing for them is reference number 35. And 35 says distressed. And in brackets it has a comma and providing for them. Okay, I'll read the whole verse 23 again. And the congregations shall be enrolled, and at the meetings they shall inquire after to see if they are in need. And they shall have volunteers who shall go about seeking out the helpless and distressed and providing for them, so that instead of the congregations sitting to hear your sermons, they shall come as co-workers for Jehovah's children. This is the new religion which I give unto you. And moreover, let it be a prophecy to you of the words of your God. For there is no such congregation in this day in all the world, and yet ere this congregation pass away, this shall be proven before you. You know, I just thought about something. And we're going to read this next chapter and we're going to be done. We haven't gotten to the book yet, and I haven't read it all the way through. But while watching one of the debates, somebody brought up the point about the community of Shalom, right? Was it Shalom? What was the community? Shalom. That John B. Numero did, right? Trying to put into practice what he had learned, you know, through Oahspe and everything, right? And so they started pointing out everything about it and why it failed and people who died and all this stuff. And so when I heard them say that, I actually went to and I started looking up some of the stuff. But one thing I would like to point out is true. Some of the facts that they stated are true, did happen, right? But what you also have to understand is that there is a time for everything. And by me actually taking the time and reading through this and understanding some of these things, John Numero kind of got ahead of the times as they were unfolding, right? So think about it. Here's an example. We just kind of been talking about it all the time. Before certain communities can be developed, like in their perfection, certain elements that's required in the community has to be developed individually to kind of bring everything together. And clearly, in like the 1800s, some of these things hadn't been developed yet, like the knowledge of restoring the body with living foods and stuff, and the way we understand it now and healing through foods, that hadn't really been developed for real during that time. Right, so some things people got sick with, they really weren't prepared for, trying to move ahead of the Creator on allowing these things to just organically develop. Those things I understood. So listen to some of those comments, and I would say that they are, not to be disrespectful, but the comments that were made were ignorant, because even the people that made those ignorant comments, they don't understand the process of time and the time that it takes to develop things. And they weren't even able to see that some things were implemented prematurely, right? If they had enough development about their own selves and understanding, that wouldn't have even been a point. Or if they brought out the point, they would have been able to see that it was done prematurely, which is why the community didn't last for that long. All the elements hadn't developed in time with the different people who's going to become a part on the community, right? Shebrew, they jumped out the gate they jumped out of the gate trying to community living when these things had to be developed, right, over a period of time. Now, I think at this time, especially with the master herbalists, us becoming more aware of our bodies and how we shouldn't be eating meat, like all of these things are coming together. We're understanding these. I would say now is the time. Not that I'm about to go try and start this, but I'm just saying, just bringing up a point, looking at all these things and really paying attention to the debates and some of the things that the other people are using against Oahspe. I'm actually like recording, going through. I was like, well, that's a good point. Let me go look into this, and just different things we're bringing together. Just like when they said about how Oahspe was penned, right? We had time enough. Well, at that point, when they start hitting with it, you know, some people weren't able to put the pieces together, but nobody until maybe like about 2 weeks ago was able to bring out that the Bible was compiled in the same exact fashion, but nobody brought that up, right? So some things, the arguing points that people are bringing up, they're like moot, M-O-O-T. They're moot, right? So they're trying to actually detract from the information when they're not actually talking about the information. They just want to keep people away from the information without actually going to read the information for themselves. They just looking at the people who are people and just kind of, I ain't gonna say they lose their way, but sometimes we can get ahead of ourselves or ahead of the Creator, and then it's like sometimes we bring a bad name, you know, or we call something that pushes people away because we didn't use wisdom on trying to implement things, right? So that's a big detractor, a big hindrance for a lot of people who would come. Yeah, thank you. We move too fast. So they're detracting people and distracting people from coming to actually get some information that could possibly set them free. It could help them. It could be some missing pieces, but they throwing up all these smoke screens and stuff. But this guy did this, and and it's like, oh well, yeah, and people go, oh really? Yeah, I'm gonna stay from over there because he did this. They bring out all this stuff, never letting them know about let them at least weigh the information for themselves, right? At least look at the information and weigh all these things, right? And if you do that, as you grow, you will be able to see, oh, they just got ahead of themselves. And it's really not a big thing, right? Not that it wasn't a big thing for the people that were there at that time, because it really was. But we have to be able to decipher correctly and righteously with the information that we have, right? So that's something that we're learning in this day, and not allowing people to, girl, I seen that movie, don't go watch it, it was garbage, right? And it's like, okay, you say it's garbage and I'm not even gonna go. They don't even give you the opportunity, or they try to take the opportunity away from you to decide for yourself. And this is the era we're in. The Father wants us to weigh the information and decide for ourselves, right? Because we could take something that somebody else didn't get, we can apply it to our life, and our light is a little bit higher, right? And our understanding grows a little bit more, because they may not need anything in there, but there was something that was specifically designed for you, right? They could be past that level, or they may not even be up to that point where they can get that nugget of truth, but you are. And if you don't qualify where your information is coming from, these type of people going to keep you from all types of wisdom and knowledge you can take and apply to your life, right? So check it out for yourself. That's what I would say. All right. So I'm going to go back to 25. We're going to read this last chapter. Verse 25, the last verse in chapter 19 on page 682 says, "This is the new religion which I give unto you, and moreover, let it be a prophecy to you of the words of your God. For there is no such congregation in this day in all the world, and yet, ere this generation pass away, this shall be proven before you." Chapter 20, God declareth a day of judgment, and also he bequeath liberty unto all men. And this is 35 verses, y'all. So hang in there with me. God said, "There shall be a day of judgment unto thee, O man. Soon or late thou shalt take the matter into thine own hand, and thou shalt look into thine own soul to judge thyself. This is unto all men, none can escape it. Such then is the judgment day. Let no man complain against the judge. Thou shalt be thy own judge." We were just kind of talking about that a little bit, right? He requires us to weigh the information ourselves. Become responsible for ourselves. Such then is the judgment day. Let no man complain against the judge. Thou shalt be thine own judge. And everyone judgeth against himself, and soon or late crieth out, "O Jehovah, I have sinned against thee in my youth. I tried to find excuses for my behavior, but now I am broken down utterly." After judgment, reformation, and resurrection within man begin as a new tree of life. But whether thou shalt judge thyself in this life, or wait till thou art dead and risen in spirit, the matter is still in thine own hands. Like, you ain't getting away from it. You still gonna have to do it, but now you just gonna be spirit. You ain't gonna have a body to help ground you in some things, right? But still, you can learn. Verse 5. "But whether thou shalt judge thyself in this life, or wait till thou art dead and risen in spirit, the matter is still in thine own hands. Yet better would it be for thee if thou wouldest sit in judgment on thyself every day of thy life. But touching the matter, as to how thou shalt judge thyself, hear thou the wisdom of thy God, thy elder brother, and profit thou accordingly. Because of the ever presence of Jehovah, thou wert quickened into a conscious being. As thy earth body is of the earth, so is thy spirit of Jehovah. Nevertheless, different from corporality," and after corporality is reference number 36. And 36 at the bottom says, "Nevertheless, spirit is the opposite of corporal life." I'm going to just start the whole verse over. Verse 8, page 683. "Because of the ever presence of Jehovah, thou wert quickened into a conscious being. As thy earth body is of the earth, so is thy spirit of Jehovah. Nevertheless, different from corporality, for the latter cometh to an end, but the spirit is the man with everlasting life. And after everlasting life is reference number 37, and 37 says, spirit is the, spirit, and in brackets it has, is the, of man, is a tree of, what? Hold on. Spirit of man is a tree of everlasting life. Okay, so that's what the whole verse says, but between spirit and of, in brackets is the, then after is a tree of everlasting life, between of and everlasting, in brackets is with. So I'm going to read it with the brackets. Spirit is the, of man is a tree of, with everlasting life. So it should be spirit is, what? Hold on. The spirit of man is a tree of everlasting life, essentially is what it's saying. Before I screw that up. Let's go back up. Verse 8. Because of the ever-presence of Jehovah, thou wert quickened into a conscious being. As thy earth body is of the earth, so is thy spirit of Jehovah. Nevertheless, different from corporality, for the latter cometh to an end, but the spirit is the man with everlasting life. The spirit groweth by cultivation, which is by the practice of wisdom, truth, virtue, benevolence, and affiliation unto others. Think not that the soul groweth by prayers or confessions unto this God or that God, for in whatsoever God thou firmly believest, him mayest thou worship, for he is thy choice. And after him mayest is reference number 38. And 38 at the bottom says shout. So I'll read it again. Think not that the soul groweth by prayers or confessions unto this God or that God. For in whatsoever God thou firmly believest, him mayest thou worship, for he is thy choice. Nor shall any man prevent thee in this thy liberty. But remember, the same rule holdeth unto all in this day. No God, no Lord, nor Savior shall exalt thee for words without works. Verse 39. Reference number 39 is after words without works. And at the bottom, 39 says, unto this day thou shalt never see the God thou worshipest, save indeed it be an idol, or an image of wood or stone, or some corporeal substance. Read the whole verse again. Verse 10. Think not that the soul groweth by prayers or confessions unto this God or that God, for in whatsoever God thou firmly believest, him mayest thou worship, for he is thy choice. Nor shall any man prevent thee in this thy liberty. But remember, the same rule holdeth unto all in this day. No God, Lord, nor Savior shall exalt thee for words without works. For behold, I have cast out the gods, lords, and saviors on the earth and in the heavens, who promised otherwise. And after I have cast out the gods, after the is reference number 40, and 40 says all. So it says I cast out all the gods. And also at the end of the verse, after it says I have cast out all the lords, out all the gods, lords, and saviors on the earth and in the heavens. After heavens is reference number 41, and 41 says heavens of the earth, who promised otherwise. All right, I'll read it over and I keep going. Verse 11. For behold, I have cast out the gods, lords, and saviors on the earth and in the heavens, who promised otherwise. And when the spirits of the dead come to thee in Sargis, saying, behold me, I am thy Savior, I am thy Lord, I say unto thee, all such spirits are Druhas. Nevertheless, if thou worship a God or Lord, and he be as a figure unto thee, cast and he be as a figure unto thee, to cast thine eyes into thine own soul, to purify thyself in the sight of thy Creator, it shall not be accounted as if thou worship a man. Okay, so this has two references, and I'm going to read this over. Okay, at the beginning it says, nevertheless, if thou worship a God or Lord, or if thou worship a God or Lord, and he be as a figure after he, is reference number 42. 42 at the bottom says, let it be. And then down at the end of the verse, it shall not be accounted as if thou worship a man. After man is reference number 43. And 43 says, thy Creator whom thou canst not doubt. So I'll read the whole verse 13 again. Nevertheless, if thou worship a God or Lord, and he be as a figure unto thee, to cast thine eyes into thine own soul, to purify thyself in the sight of thy Creator, it shall not be accounted as if thou worshiped a man. Okay, he says, so whatever it is you're doing, and it causes you to look at yourself and reflect on yourself, and it turns you back to the Creator, then that won't be accounted to you like you was worshiping a man god or man or whatsoever, right? Okay. Verse 14, in such respect, it is no sin for thee to worship any good ideal whom thou shalt emulate in thy behavior. Yet this also shalt thou prove, that whosoever of the ancients were great, or whatever gods were well known, that thou settest thy soul on to love, behold, familiar spirits will come to thee to deceive thee, professing to be such ancients or gods. And after gods is reference number 44, and 44 says, to be that ancients or that gods, right? So you got to be careful, especially, we know full well Jesus, right? Y'all got to be careful. If y'all end up worshiping Jesus over the Creator, and you start getting all your whatever you hearing and stuff, you can 100% better believe it's a Druha talking to you. It is, right? I'm telling you. And they will tell you some true stuff. That's what some people don't get. They will tell you some truth. They will tell you some truth, right? But it's leading you further and further away from the Creator, right? Because you got to, if they never once tell you, don't worship me, worship the Father in heaven only, we got problems. If they always saying to you, worship me, cast down yourself before my feet, the one born of a woman, we got problems, right? Yet this, verse 15, page 683, yet this also shalt thou prove, that whosoever of the ancients were great, or whatever gods were well known, that thou settest thy soul on to love, behold, familiar spirits will come to thee to deceive thee, professing to be such ancients or gods. And because of this, and after this is reference number 45, and because of this, when? And because of this, when thou art dead, and thy soul risen from the dead, behold, some deceiving spirit will come to thee to use thee. Neither shalt thou discover for a long season that thou hast been the dupe and slave of an unscrupulous master. Bruh. Listen. Verse 17. This day in the lower heavens there are millions of false Brahmas, millions of false Buddhas, millions of false Christs, and millions of false Gabriel gods. Whoever bindeth himself to these names while on the earth become a fit subject for Druhas to fall upon when he entereth heaven. Think not that great wisdom comes suddenly by dying. In thy earthly entrance into the S world, thou shalt easily be deceived, right? And this is something, at least from my experience, my own personal experience, that my Christian leaders and teachers was teaching, that when you die or when you're born into the spirit or when you cross over, you are made perfect in spirit. That is a lie. Because if that was true, we wouldn't be having all this rigmarole and these otherworldly encounters with shenaniganizing spirits who have lost their bodies, right? They ain't been made perfect. They knocking stuff off the counters and scaring you and portals in your closet and all this stuff. How is that being made perfect? Scaring the dickens out of everybody, right? I'm just saying. Things that make you go, Think not, verse 19, think not that great wisdom cometh suddenly by dying in thy earthly entrance into the S world. Thou shalt easily be deceived. For which reason thou shalt school thyself every day of thy life, that thy Creator only is thy God, and that him shalt thou never see as thou seest a man or an angel, but that him also thou canst see every day in the glory of his works. With this faith in thy soul, thou shalt die and enter heaven fearlessly. And when a pretended God or Savior cometh to thee, asking tribute, thou shalt know of a truth he is false. Now therefore, when thou judgest thyself to determine the balance of thy good and evil deeds, and thy good and evil thoughts, let thy Creator stand as the light of thy soul, and through him judge thou thyself, but not as to thy worship, but as to thy works. Neither shalt thou judge thyself by any God, or Lord, or Savior, or other idol, or by any man or woman. For thou standest thyself second to Jehovah in thy attributes. And after other, where it says, neither shalt thou judge thyself by any God, or Lord, or Savior, or other. Right there, or other is reference number 46. And 46 says, or by any idol, or by any man or woman, for thou standest thyself second to Jehovah in thy attributes. It behooveth thee to make a God of thyself in thy behavior and in thy words and deeds. Neither shalt thou judge thyself by any sacred book or any Bible in all the world, nor by the words within them purporting to be my words, or the words of any God, Lord, or Savior. For I have abolished all such sacred books and Bibles and words and sayings contained in them, purporting to be my words and the words of any God, Lord, or Savior. Neither shalt thou bind thyself by them, nor judge thyself by anything that is written or printed in them. But behold, I declare a greater glory, and judge unto thee in place thereof, which is Jehovah, thy Creator. By him and through him shalt thou judge and be judged. Books are immaculate, but Jehovah is the immaculate. That is amazing. And after immaculate is reference number 47. And 47 at the bottom says, but Jehovah never. Books are immaculate, but Jehovah never. He is immaculate. Neither shalt thou henceforth swear by any book under the sun, nor by any God, nor Lord, nor Savior, nor Spirit, nor idol, nor image, but thou shalt swear by Jehovah, thy Creator. To Jehovah only shalt thou covenant thyself, and this shalt thou do in thine own way only, and not according to any book, or Bible, or priest, or church, or spirit. Behold, the olden times are passed away, and thy God setteth aside the bondages of the olden times also. Sufficient were they for the times they were created. A man shall not be bound as a child, neither shall the judgment of man be bound by the things that were intended for man before he attained judgment. Right? When I was a child, I thought as a child. Now that I'm a full-grown man or woman, right, I act and I judge accordingly. Right? So we're no longer held by the rules that the toddlers have. Stay out the refrigerator. Do not touch my stove. Now it's, you're of age. Go in the refrigerator, find you something to eat, cook it, right? Listen, bruh. Let me go back to 30. Neither shalt thou henceforth swear by any book under the sun, nor by any god, nor Lord, nor Savior, nor Spirit, nor idol, nor image, but thou shalt swear by Jehovah thy Creator. To Jehovah only shalt thou covenant thyself, and this shalt thou do in thine own way only, and not according to any book, or Bible, or priest, or church, or spirit. Behold, the olden times are passed away, and thy God setteth aside the bondages of the olden times. Sufficient they were for the times they were created. A man shall not be bound as a child, neither shall the judgment of man be bound by the things that were intended for man before he attained judgment. Hast thou not beholden the signs of the times? What I hear give in words, Jehovah manifested over all the length and breadth of the world. None can stay the hand of the Almighty or gainsay the words of thy God. And after God is reference number 48. And 48 at the bottom says, the hand of the Almighty, or gainsay the words of thy God. And that, my beautiful people, is the end of our reading for today. It's so good. Yes, son.
I end the video.
Let me finish. Okay, y'all. Hold on, let me put this in here. 6, 7, 9, 6.
Okay.
Yes, Tootie. You know what? I think I told her. Didn't I tell Bella already? I told Bella already. I told Bella already. I'm sorry. My bad. I spoke too soon, but I did. I told her already. Either she watching me from upstairs or Sissy's just tuned into me. She all the way up there in the loft, and I can hear the TV. She just hollered down, Mom, are you done yet? While Saya was asking, could he in the video? Which reminded me that I had already told her that she could. Look, this is so good, y'all. Where we at? We at 2 hours, so thank y'all for, hey, look, it's the weekend. We take as long as we want on the weekend. Because most people don't have to work. And sometimes, even when you do, but even with the hurricane, they even canceled our projects that we had this weekend, right? But blessed be the most holy. We didn't get anything too bad, just some bad wind. We got to put up help our neighbors put their fences back up because they're connected to us. And the portion of the fence that blew down belongs to them, right? We could just say, look, man, put your fence back up. You know, we're very handy with tools and stuff. So my husband's like, we're going to get out there. We're going to wait till it stops raining and stuff. And we'll get out there and help them put the fences back up, right? So we don't have to, but that's just what being a good neighbor is. We got the seals. He know how to do it. So he said, I'll help him do it once it starts raining, right? And they said the hurricane or whatever, the tropical storm, has pretty much passed over Hampton Roads through here anyway. So, you know, I'm glad everybody's safe. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out today. It is Sunday, October the 2nd, 2022. Would you stop, boy? 2022, day 228 of year 4 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets, and of the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1246. And we read in Oahspe the book of Judgment, chapters 16 through 20, which are found on pages 679 to pages 684. All right, y'all, let me just double check. Create a gang. Deshaun. Love you too, sis. Thank you. Okay, hold on. Make sure I miss nobody's question. I know we talked about a lot and all my little, I ain't gonna say side trios because it went along with the reading. All right. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of people mocking things that they have no clue about. They don't even, at least, listen, like I said, if you're going to cherry pick stuff, at least be an authorized cherry picker. And they can't even be authorized cherry pickers or authorized mockers of anything, right? Before you can truly mock something, you have to truly understand what it is, right? And we can tell they showing their ignorance every time they open their mouth. Every time they part their lips, they showing their ignorance. You can't even make a good joke for real. You can't even make a good argument until you know and understand what it is you about to joke and mock, right? They're not authorized cherry pickers. They're not authorized mockers, right? I just let them talk and just keep going about my business. All right, beautiful people. All right. Nothing else. Tootie, come on. Authorization revoked. Tell him to shine. Nene, shalom, sis. Bella, come on. All right, y'all. We're about to get out of here. Let Tootie baby come in this video today. And I'll see y'all back here tomorrow. Girl, where you at? Come on, come on, come on. Because Josiah ready to end it. No. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning. Oh, wait. I almost forgot. Father, hold on. I wrote it down.
Mom, Jace can end it too.
No, Jason ain't down here. Father,
I'm right here.
all things of you, tend in peace. You are the ultimate peace. All right, that's it, y'all. I love y'all. See y'all back here tomorrow, bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Peace.